Hello, how you doing? This is Coach Idris, and welcome to the club, the Ageless Fitness Club. Today, we're going to discuss menopause and weight. Um, I'm sure a lot of you out there would love to know what the heck to do when you start noticing you're not losing the weight like you used to. It doesn't come off easy. Even when you're eating well and exercising, it's still not coming off, sometimes even going up while you're doing it. This is a serious issue that women have. Men have it too, but women have it way worse. So that's why, mainly why I work with women, because it's more fun. It's more exciting for me. I get to do more, but I also get to teach and educate you guys on ways that I help my clients overcome this, because it's not easy to deal with. You know, a lot of you guys think exercise is easy and getting in shape is easy. All you got to do is do this. So if it was that easy, no one would be overweight, or at least most people wouldn't be. Where when it's exactly the opposite, most people are overweight. And it's because it's not that easy to understand food and nutrition and training and what's going on with our hormones. Okay. So today we're going to get into that. I hope you learned something. This is some of the techniques and things that I use to help my clients overcome this, and I hope it helps you as well. So let's dive in. All right, rev up your metabolism. Strategies for losing weight during menopause. Remember that song, The Men All Pause When I Walked Into the Room? I don't know who remembers that song. I'm sure some of you do, especially if you're in menopause. You're probably somewhere over 45, maybe 50 years old, and you might remember that song from the 80s. It sucked, like most of the music in the 80s. Um, most of the music, Devo and all that weird stuff in the 80s. But it's what we had, and we loved it when it was going on, right? We're going to talk about menopause, a very serious subject when it comes to weight loss. Something when women start hitting the mid 30s, early 40s, they start noticing, hey, this weight's not coming off so easily anymore. Even eating clean and exercising, I'm still putting on weight. It's a serious issue. So today, I want to dive into it, talk about it a little bit, talk about some strategies, what I use with my clients to help them combat this, because it's not like you can stop menopause, right? But we have to learn how to work with it and to overcome it so that we can still lose weight, get in great shape, and look like some of the people that we see in their 50s, like J-Lo, for instance, and some of these celebrities that we see. There's a lot of women who aren't celebrities who also look amazing in their age, in 50s and 60 years old, because they understand and they're doing the right things to overcome menopause. So we're going to start with that. Okay. First, let's talk about what is menopause. I'm going to just read it right off of this. Okay. Menopause is a natural biological process that marks the end of a woman's reproductive years. It usually occurs between the ages of 45 and 55, but can also happen earlier or later. Menopause is diagnosed when a woman has gone a full year without a menstrual period. During menopause, the body's production of estrogen and progesterone decreases, causing a range of physical and emotional symptoms such as hot flashes, night sweats, mood changes, vaginal dryness. Menopause is a normal and natural part of aging, and there are various treatments and lifestyle changes that can help manage its symptoms. Okay, so this is not something that's rare. This is something that happens to everybody. Like it says, at different times. I've seen people go into perimenopause, which is, we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's leading into menopause in the 35, 36 years old. And a lot of times I notice it usually happens to women who actually, when they were younger, they started their, their period earlier, like 11. Like some women don't start their periods till a little later. Some start a little. Normally, people who start their periods a little younger, they normally start perimenopause a little younger as well. It's not. None of this stuff is guaranteed. None of it's 100%. It's just kind of what seems to happen. Okay. So factors affecting metabolism: perimenopause, decreased estrogen production, age-related muscle loss, changes in insulin sensitivity, lifestyle factors, and genetics. We're going to start with perimenopause. Decrease estrogen production. As estrogen production decreases, your metabolic rate slows down. This can cause a decrease in energy expenditure and result in weight gain. So, a lot of you who are noticing that the weight's coming on slowly, even doing the same exact program, because a lot of you are working out all the time. You've been working out since your 20s. You always watch what you eat. You've been in shape your whole life. Even after having children, you got right back into shape. And this still happens, right? It's still going to happen. I don't care who you are. It's going to happen. It happens to men as well. I know women always go, well, men, lose weight easier. Yeah, we do a little bit. It's mainly because we have more muscle mass and we have more testosterone to begin with. So that's one of the main reasons that men can usually lose weight a little, I don't want to say a little easier, but quicker than women can. But we still go through it. I went through it myself around 40, 41. I started noticing that I was still competing. And I noticed, man, it's getting harder and harder and harder to get this off. Me and a guy named Chris Cormier, I think it's Chris Cormier. We were backstage in 2004 at the Arnold Classic. At the Night of Champions in New York. And he said to me, man, this is getting harder, Dries. I was like, you ain't kidding. And that's when we stopped, because I was like, at 41, I just couldn't keep up with the 25-year-old. I just couldn't do it. So it happens to everybody. But what you're going to notice, some of the signs of perimenopause includes, and like I say, perimenopause is before you go into full menopause, where you just don't have regular periods anymore. It's irregular periods, heavy bleeding sometimes. Now, but this isn't always everybody, but heavy bleeding, hot flashes, mood swings, changes in sexual desire, and it can start in some women, like I say, even in their 30s. Okay, so perimenopause can start in their 30s. Sometimes it don't start till you're 40. It's just at some point it's going to start. Okay. Age-related muscle loss. Let me explain why lifting weights is essential for long-term fitness. Muscle burns calories. I don't care how old you are. If you have muscle on your frame, you're going to burn calories more efficiently. What happens is, as we get older and we're making our hormones start to decrease, our testosterone levels start to decrease, our HGH, growth hormone levels start to decrease, because all those things are natural as you age. Okay, the reason an infant can grow up into a full-grown adult is because of these things. Okay, they're not lifting weights. What are they doing? Why is a kid growing like this? It's because their hormones are working great and working like they're supposed to. Some kids have growth issues where they don't have enough HGH, and then they'll, go to a doctor and they'll get hormone treatments so they can develop fully to a full-grown adult, as far as height and weight anyway. As you age, you may lose muscle mass, which can lower your metabolic rate. This can also lead to weight gain and increase in body fat. Okay, so what are they saying? When I lose muscle mass, my metabolism slows down. If my metabolism is slowing down, the foods I'm eating are not being processed and utilized. They're storing. That's when your body fat goes up, and that's as you lose muscle, your weight starts to go up. And then, believe it or not, your weight goes up from body fat. Okay, because remember, muscle is more dense, right? A lot of my clients, I tell them, the more in shape you get, the smaller you're going to get. You can weigh the same. I have one or two clients right now that don't really need to lose weight. They just need to put on more muscle. So their nutrition and exercise program isn't about body fat loss at all. It's about building muscle, and the more muscle we build, that muscle in turn burns the excess body fat that they have. I don't even want the scale to go down for them. I want the scale to stay the same and just bring the muscle up, which is going to make their inches go down. So even though they weigh the same, their clothes are going to get bigger, their shoulders are going to look better, their backs are going to look better, their legs are going to get better, their stomach's going to get flatter, and their weight isn't going to change at all. Now, if you're actually a little heavier, you're going to lose weight before that happens, or you're going to lose weight as that happens. Okay? So that's what happens as you get older, because you're losing muscle mass, and you're losing muscle mass because your hormones are decreasing. Okay. Even if you don't work out, this is going to happen anyway. But lifting weights, I started lifting weights when I was 20 years old. So I didn't experience any of this stuff until my 40s. If I wasn't lifting weights throughout my entire 20s and 30s, I would have experienced this sooner. Okay. So a lot of women, at least when I grew up, women my age, lifting weights wasn't something that we pushed. It wasn't such a big thing like it is today. Today I go in the gym and I see way more women lifting weights in the gym. Before, the whole parking lot would be full of cars and you'd come in and you would hardly see any women on the weight room floor. They'd all be in the aerobic room or in the treadmills or in the yoga or the spin. Now you see them everywhere. They're still doing those, but they're on the gym floor now. Now they're in the weight room and they're actually putting on some muscle. So good for you if you're doing that. Changes in insulin sensitivity. Let's talk about insulin. Menopause can affect insulin sensitivity, which can lead to increase in insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can make it harder for your body to regulate blood sugar levels, which can lead to weight gain. Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. Okay, remember, I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm just talking about the basics. You want to go into it deep, go see a hormone doctor, go see what do you call them? I can't even remember the name of the doctor. Endocrinologist. And remember this, guys. Every trainer's not a good trainer. Every bus driver's not a good bus driver. Every doctor's not a good doctor. Okay. So just because your doctor's telling you something, you can always go get a second or third opinion because you might be talking to people who just don't understand this. But they can't tell you, look, this is not my specialty. A lot of people can't just say, I'm not good at this. So don't just believe because a doctor. I've had clients tell me a doctor said I can't lose weight. I've been doing too many weird diets and I'll never lose weight again. And then I train them and we take off 18, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. Okay, so it's not necessarily true. The doctor just doesn't realize there's other ways of dealing with this, even though this person has a history of dieting and messing up their metabolism. It can be corrected to some extent, or it can be corrected completely just by changing their body composition. So changes in insulin sensitivity. What is insulin sensitivity? That's how your body responds to insulin being secreted when you eat food. Okay, so if you're eating food and you're eating tons of food and you're getting sugar in all the time and your hormones are changing, your muscle mass isn't burning calories efficiently anymore. So now your body is not responding. Insulin sensitivity, your body's not responding to the insulin the way it used to. So you're going to start holding on to weight as opposed to losing it like you normally do. Insulin's main job is to push nutrients into the cells. That's why most nutritional intelligent diets keep your sugars low. Okay, a lot of people, like my clients, when I pull sugars and I say, okay, I want you to back off the fruit, not for the rest of your life, just temporarily, so we can lower how much sugar your body takes in and how much insulin is being secreted in your body throughout the day. The lower we can get insulin production, the less body fat you're going to hold on to, the less glycogen you're going to store. Your body's going to use it. And that's the whole key. Now, that's simple. Like I say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get deep into this, but that's the basic. That's the basic That's why the keto diet worked. That's why the Atkins diet worked, because basically they were just pulling sugars out. Okay. Lifestyle factors. We kind of talked about that. Lifestyle factors such as diet, physical activity level can also affect your metabolism during menopause. Eating a balanced diet and engaging in regular physical activity can help boost your metabolism and maintain a healthy weight. When you work out, again, and you're building muscle, that muscle is burning calories even when you sleep. Okay? Anyone will tell you when they started getting in shape and their body fat started going down and their lean muscle tissue started going up, they started getting hotter. Like right now, I've been changing my diet because I'm trying to take about 10 pounds off because I was enjoying myself a little too much. I'm hotter. Like right now, I'm hot. Okay. Last night I was sweating when I was sleeping. Okay. I wasn't doing that when I was eating all those carbs because my metabolism was slowing down because of that. Now I backed off the carbs and now I'm starting to get hot again and I'm going to drop my weight. This is what I do. This is how I live my life. And this is kind of what I want to do with all my clients, is get them to understand when I do this, this happens. When I do that, that happens. When I do this amount, this happens. When I do that amount, that happens. That's how you control your weight for the rest of your life. Just by understanding what's going on when you eat and having the ability to control that having the ability to say no. I tell people no is a strong word, and a lot of people just can't do it. As soon as a party happens, oh yeah, how do I not drink wine? I don't know, just don't drink it. But it's what we're used to doing. We have to control that. We have to control our lifestyle. If, big if, we want to actually live a healthier lifestyle, we have to be able to control it. Genetics. Oh, this is a big one. The reason that cookie cutter, I call them cookie cutter, the reason cookie cutter diets do not work, when you look at some of these trainers online, some of these doctors online telling people, oh, just do this. Or somebody will say, oh, I have a girlfriend and she did this and it took weight off of her. And then you do it and it doesn't work. It's because you're not her. You don't have her genetics. She may have a history of exercise and have more muscle mass than you. White people burn calories differently than black people, than Latinos and Asians. You look at the bodybuilding stage. Asian people lean out so much quicker, but they usually don't hold on to the muscle mass. Blacks, funny when it comes to bodybuilding, blacks, the genetics of a black person is perfect for bodybuilding. It really is. Now, there's some black people who are endomorphs and some who are ectomorphs and really skinny. But for the most part, it's a really good sport for black people because of how our muscles develop. We have more fast twitch muscle fibers. Our muscles round out, where powerlifting is much more for white guys. A lot of my friends who are white are great powerlifters. Their joints can handle stress. Mine can't. And then you got some black guys like Ronnie Coleman, who had the joints to handle stuff like that. I didn't. My friend Dre can handle those poundages. I think Turk was real strong, but his joints, I don't believe, liked it. I know my joints didn't like it. So everyone's different. But basically speaking, our genetics have a lot to do with it. Family history, age has a lot to do with it. So remember, genetics has a lot to do with whether or not your metabolism is faster than some or slower. And when you go into menopause, you've got to take that into account. So when I look at my clients, I don't just say, oh, do this. No, I go, okay, I want you to start here, and then we're going to make adjustments as we go along. But first, I'm going to go off their history. What have you been doing? Okay, since you've been doing that, let's start here. Oh, you're doing really good. Okay, let's leave that the same for a minute, but let's make sure our numbers are correct. You don't just give them something and change everything. What they're doing might be working. They just need to, make a little change, make a change here, make a change there. Sometimes it's just the training. I've had people where their diet wasn't that bad, their training was. So I just changed the training and then they started losing weight. So it's not just diet. It's not just training. It's diet. It's training. It's genetics. It's age. It's athletic history. Did you have more muscle when you were younger? Were you a fat baby? Were you, what I'm saying? Did you ever lose that body fat? A lot comes in to play when you're trying to figure out a workout program for somebody. It's not that simple. None of this is that simple. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a obesity issue in this country. We have an obesity issue because none of this is easy. Let's talk about how to get your metabolism up. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Okay, that was all depressing. Now let's get to the fun stuff. How do I actually get my metabolism up? Some strategies. Strength training. Numero uno. The number one thing you want to do is get stronger. Now, everybody can get stronger to a point. As you get a certain age, what I notice is when men get to 73, 4, 5, you start seeing less and less ability to put on muscle. Women, I noticed around 64, 5, they start to lose the ability. They still can get stronger. They still can put some muscle on. You should start to notice it's a little harder and harder to do. But they can't. I have 86-year-old clients. I've had 81-year-old clients, and they did get stronger. But it's not the same as, obviously, when they're 40s and 50s. It's just not the same. So strength training is huge. You have to get stronger. Every one of my clients, I'm trying to get them as strong as I can possibly get them. Because the stronger you are, the easier life is. Think about that. If you're super, super strong, it doesn't take much energy to do anything. Pick up things, move things, go to the store, do this, do that. When you're weak, everything is difficult. Okay? Just standing up is difficult. Just walking to the kitchen is difficult. So when it comes to age, a lot of people think when you get older, you automatically lose stuff. Like, oh, when you get old, I've had people say, I'm getting older, I want to work on my balance. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Like walk on a balance beam, like walk tightrope? What do you mean work on your balance? You're gonna lose your strength. That will cause you balance issues. Because an infant has balance issues and they're not old. It's just they're not strong enough to keep their balance. And what do? They keep doing it and keep trying until they can do it. And then pretty soon they're walking, and then pretty soon they're running, right? Same thing. Okay. 80-year-olds wouldn't be running marathons. I've seen 90-year-olds run marathons. Okay. So if age takes away your balance, what are they doing? How are they running marathons? They're running marathons and they're doing these things because they're keeping their strength up. High intensity interval training. What HIIT training does is it brings your heart rate up and then it lets it come down some and then back up and come down some and back up and come down some. And what's that doing is it's creating a core temperature increase. Okay, the hotter your core temperature is, the more weight you're going to lose because you're going to pee that water out. The cells are going to release the water from the cells. You're going to burn the glycogen in the cells. It's going to release the water, and you're going to pee more, and therefore your weight is going to go down. So high intensity interval training is great. However, depends on how old you are, depends on your needs, depends on a lot of things. If you can even do HIIT training, okay? I can't do HIIT training like I used to because of some limitations I have now. My back issues, my shoulder issues, my neck issues. I'm not big on, I can't do a whole lot of HIIT training. So I stick more to the high rep workouts, isometric training, stuff like that, which works really great when you have fibromyalgia or you have autoimmune and your joints hurt. Isometric training is perfect for that. But most people don't know how to do isometric training. You have to learn how to do that, and that's one of the things is you can figure all of this out. Trust me, I over time, it took me actually 20, I've been doing this for 40 years now. So I've been learning all this over 40 years. What I do with my clients is, or you could do that. You can take the next 30 years learning this, or, you can sign up and I'll teach you how to do this in, 6 months. Okay. I did all the work. You might as well benefit from it. But that's what the Ages in 90 fitness system is about, is all of these things right here. Just how to do it, what works best for you. Every training style is not perfect for you, but figuring that out is the key. Getting in more protein. Okay, let's go ahead and go to that part. Okay, I talked about strength training. Also, by the way, supports bone health. The more you lift, the stronger you get, your bones become more dense because of all the pulling on the bones. The bone makes more bone when it's irritated. That's why you can get those, they call them bone spurs. They're not actually spurs. You would think they're sharp. They're actually not sharp. They're actually smooth, but they're protruding. So instead of being flat like this, they're protruding, and then the tendon's running over it. And that's what wears down the tendon. And then sometimes the tendon will snap and you have issues like that. So that's why, somebody's Achilles can go, or somebody's, like my elbow had an issue. I didn't even know it was happening. And then all of a sudden it happened. So a lot of times that'll happen. So that's why it says support bone health. And it boosts your energy and mood, because when you go to the gym, right, and you make that the hardest part of your day, the rest of your day physically is a lot easier. So you have more energy. You have way more energy. I know a lot of people out there will complain about, I'm so tired after work. I can't work out because I'm so tired. You're tired because you don't work out. Because your work day is the hardest part of your day. You have to make the gym, that 45 minutes in the gym, make that the hardest part of your day, and your work day will become a lot easier, even if you have physical jobs. Because I've had women tell me, well, my husband, he's a framer. And I'm like, right, and he's still fat. Okay, he's out there in Palm Springs. Okay, I was living out in Palm Springs. He's doing roofing. He's doing framing. It's 115 degrees, and he's still fat. If you're a framer and it's 115 degrees, the last thing you should be is fat. You should be in amazing shape. But you're not going to be in amazing shape if your diet is wrong. And you're not maintaining your muscle when you leave the workplace, because at the workplace, it's not making you stronger. It's actually eating up muscle to do the job. But then you're not replacing it when the job is done. That's why all athletes, football players, golf, and every athlete has an off season. The off season is to get their strength back so they can make it through the season. So if professional athletes are doing this, what do you think a regular person should do? Same thing. Okay. Okay. I talked about high intensity workouts. It reduces hot flashes because again, your body is telling the hypothalamus is telling the pancreas to make more growth hormone. It's trying to help you in those areas. It increases your testosterone levels a little bit naturally when you lift weights. Okay, when you push yourself, your natural growth hormone, natural stuff starts to increase. There's supplementations to help as well, but that's why it reduces hot flashes. And it also decreases mood swings and anxiety for the same reason. When you're exhausted, you sleep better, you rest better. Okay, when you're not, it's hard to sleep. You're stressed. You're not dealing with the stress. You're not dealing with anything. So decreasing mood swings and hot flashes is amazing. Amazing. I don't know how many clients that I've had that as they start to get in better shape, they're in love with how they feel. They're in love with their energy levels. I had a matter of fact, a girl today. She was like, "I'm loving this." She had me laughing, but it was Monica, and she was like, "My training is great. My appetite is up. I'm eating. I'm watching this. She's a little tiny thing, and she's eating 6 ounces of protein a meal, and I'm like, God, your appetite is up, and she's loving it, and she's leaning out." So that's the key. The key is building muscle, and then from building the muscle, the diet has to match. Got to get your rest. Got to get your rest. But it all starts to work together and over time. Okay, this isn't an overnight thing. Okay, this is something that takes time, and you have to be patient, and you have to change the way you look at your life. You can't look at this as temporary. This is permanent. I'm going to do this for the remainder of the days, my days on earth. More protein maintains muscle mass, increased metabolism, controls appetite, regulates hormones. Kind of talked about all of this kind of goes hand in hand. I'm thinking you're hearing that right now. The reason you want more protein is because you have to get full on something. Okay. If you're not taking in potatoes and rice, and if you're not taking in a lot of that, what are you eating? Vegetables? Vegetables aren't going to have a lot of calories in it. Although vegetables are a big part of the nutrition, but what are you going to fill up on? What are you going to eat? You got to eat some protein. So increasing your protein helps with this. Plus protein is what? The building block of muscle. So all this activity that you do, roofing, construction, physical work, tears down muscle. Lifting weights and eating more protein rebuilds the muscle stronger. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is. The faster your metabolism is, you can lose weight or at least control your weight. Okay? Got to have muscle. Muscle burns calories 24/7, even when you're sleeping. Okay? That's why a lot of people, when they tell me, "Oh, I'm not hungry in the morning," okay, that means you have no metabolism when you sleep. That means whatever you ate before is still sitting around. I wake up hungry every morning. Okay? I wake up hungry every morning for the last 40, 50 years. Drinking water. Let's read this here. Drinking water can help alleviate some of the symptoms of menopause, such as hot flashes and vaginal dryness. When you don't drink water enough, your body can become dehydrated, which can exacerbate hot flashes and leave you feeling fatigued and irritable. Drinking water also helps to lubricate your vaginal tissues, which can reduce discomfort and irritation associated with vaginal dryness. Additionally, staying hydrated can help with digestion and reduce constipation, which is another symptom that some women experience during menopause. Now, I don't know if you notice that a lot of this stuff is about woman stuff, right? Vaginal and all. I was a nurse. This doesn't bother me. Okay. When I talk to my clients, we have conversations. A lot of them will say, "This is TMI." And I'm like, please. I worked in the surgical ICU. Okay. I had patients who were in medical ICU when I worked there, who were in comas, and I did all kinds of stuff helping them in patient care. So this conversation is not weird to me. I'm not uncomfortable having a conversation. So let's get back to the drinking water. Drinking water also attaches, when you drink water, it attaches to other water and pulls water out of your body. Okay. So when people say, well, the more water you drink, the more weight you lose, kinda, it can happen that way unless you got too much sugar going on. And now that water is going to stay in your body because water attaches to carbs. When you eat carbs, water attaches to it, and that's where weight gain comes from. Like the 10 pounds I put on, it's because I was just eating too many carbs. I'm carb sensitive, and I was enjoying it. And actually, I feel heavy, and I don't even like it. What's funny is even though I enjoy it, it doesn't feel good. So once I'm like, okay, that's enough. Enough is enough, and now it's time to drop it. So drinking water is super, super important. Sleep. Okay, most people don't get enough rest. Now, I know, all depending on your schedule, you can only do your best. Life doesn't stop just because we want to get into shape, right? Everything ain't gonna stop. My clients are gonna start, putting in their stuff, and I'm not gonna, my kids aren't gonna. When I have kids, the kids ain't gonna stop screaming because I have a contest. Okay, so life doesn't stop because you want to get into shape. So do your best when it comes to getting rest. Little cat naps are good here and there. Some weekends try to find time to get some rest, sleeping a little bit extra on Saturday and Sunday, or your days off, whenever those are. Try to find a little extra rest so your body can heal. Because if your body doesn't heal, that stress is going to keep you from losing weight. I'll give you a story. Bailey. Okay, I have a client named Bailey, right? Bailey competes. When I first met her, she was in the CrossFit. Wonderful, great energy. She's about my daughter's age. So she reminded me, she's a sweetheart. And I can tell she really was into fitness, but she wasn't losing the weight. Her body fat was high. And I said, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing 8 workouts. We do 6 workouts a week, 2 a days on Mondays and Wednesdays. I was like, you're doing way too much. So I said, I want you to back off to 4 days a week. We're going to change your diet to this, and that. And I said, how's your weight loss? I haven't been able to lose weight in 16 months. I'm like, okay, you need to back off your work. You're doing too much. She didn't like that because she wanted to keep the work up because she felt like, well, I'm like, but it's not working. Is it working? No. Then humor me and give it a shot. 7 weeks later, she's down 18 pounds. Actually, 8 weeks later, she was down 18, and she was upset she wasn't down 20. I wanted to get to 20. I was like, yeah, but you got to 18. Let's celebrate that. Okay, let's celebrate the 18. But I love that about her. And that's when I said, let's do a contest. And then she did her first contest a year later. And now her body comp is completely different. She can enjoy more foods, and she stays leaner, even eating foods that aren't necessarily what she should be eating because her body's different now. That's a whole nother lesson. Once you lean out, you're no longer the person you used to be. A lot of people say, well, do I got to eat this way all the time? You're going to want to eat that way because you can't eat the old way anymore. One thing I want you guys to understand is we're always changing our diet. No one over 50 eats like they did when they were 12 or 18. If you are, what are you doing? Okay. Eat like an adult or like a child. Every time somebody says, oh, I like mac and cheese, I'm like, mac and cheese are for children. Okay. Chicken nuggets are for kids. So what am I doing eating what kids eat? Okay. They have a metabolism I don't even have. They burn calories way more efficiently than I do because they're kids. So I shouldn't even be eating that way. Okay. So getting enough sleep is huge when it comes to rest, recuperating, and letting the body heal. Letting the body heal from exercise and your normal workday. All this works great for managing stress. Let's go into that a little bit. Managing stress can be helpful for women going through menopause because it can reduce the severity and frequency of symptoms such as hot flashes, night sweats, and mood swings. When a woman is going through menopause, her body is experiencing several changes, including a decrease in estrogen production. Stress can exacerbate these symptoms by increasing cortisol production. Cortisol increases when you're stressed. So you can get cortisol from being stressed at work, and anytime you work out, you're adding stress. There's good stress, there's bad stress. Our bodies are always under stress. You know how some people say, I got to get rid of stress. You can't get rid of stress. You can only manage it. That's why it's called managing stress. When cortisol levels are high, it can make hot flashes worse and lead to more frequent mood swings. Managing stress can help to keep cortisol levels in check and mitigate the symptoms of menopause. So working out helps manage stress because it pulls the blood out of that area. A lot of women, for ladies out there, if you notice there's a hump between your shoulder blades, that's where you carry your stress. That's why if somebody comes up behind you and they massage your neck, it feels so good, because that's where all your stress is. That's where it is. There's some products that help pull cortisol out too. One of my buddies, Matt Porter, MPA, has a great product called Cortisol. It's one of the supplements I recommend to all my clients. And it's because it'll take 10, 15 pounds off just from stress, just from high cortisol levels. You can lose 10 to 15 pounds. So managing stress is huge when it comes to weight loss and dealing with menopause. Hormone replacement therapy. Biggie, biggie. Okay. A lot of you know about the pellets that you can go to the doctor and get, right? Every client I have, when they get into their 40s and they start noticing these weird changes, I'm like, go to your doctor, get your blood work done, see where your testosterone levels are, see where your estrogen are, see if they can get that progesterone, see if they can get all those numbers right. Because if you do, you'll have more energy, you'll start losing weight again, you'll start building muscle. Okay, I have a client, Cindy. I've been training Cindy off and on since she was 28 years old. She's 52. Okay, and she, without failure, she makes sure that every 3 months she gets that pellet, because the minute it runs out, she starts noticing weight gain go up a little bit, energy levels goes down. I mean, the minute, like last time her doctor was out of town on vacation when she needed her shot, and she was not happy because I think she had to wait 2 weeks longer than she wanted to, and she felt the effects. So hormone replacement is huge. Let's read it here. Hormone replacement, HRT, for menopause involves taking medication containing female hormones to replace the hormones that the body stops producing. Remember I said it starts to make less as you get older. For women, when they get over 30, they start to notice it. Men, when they get over 40. The therapy can alleviate or reduce symptoms such as hot flashes, mood swings, and sleep disturbances. It can also prevent or treat conditions like osteoporosis, which is the getting your bones getting porous. Remember I mentioned before, lifting weights helps pull on the bones, and the bones get stronger because of that, because bone makes more bone when it's stressed, when you put stress on it. And heart disease. However, the decision to use a chart should be discussed with your. Now, basically, what they're saying is don't do this on your own. Go to a doctor, get the numbers, make sure you got your, the soup is right, because they're going to put a little soup together of all the different hormones that you need, particularly for you. And then you'll start noticing, wow, man, I feel better. My energy's better. Your bones become more dense. You got to lift weights, though. Doing this is great, and you'll feel difference. But lifting the weights and getting stronger and building muscle will really, really, really make a difference. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys pick something up during this lesson. I know how women struggle with this, and this is one of the reasons that I train women, mostly women, is because it's fun. I enjoy this. One of the reasons my Ages to 90 fitness system is designed more for women. Men can do the same thing, but it's designed more for women because of stuff like this. The training style, how we do the nutrition, all the recommendations, the supplementation, everything is designed to deal with this right here. This is really what the program is to deal with. Because if you don't have any of these issues, if you're 20, like Bailey's in her 20s, and I have other couple of clients in their 20s and early 30s, they're not even dealing with this yet. So it's going to really work for them. But when it comes to this, how you do it becomes really, really particular, and you got to know what you're doing. You can't just throw it up against the wall and hope it works. People who throw stuff up against the wall and hope it works are the ones who are frustrated, who are doing yo-yo dieting, who's bouncing up and down, whose weight goes up, weight goes down, because there's nothing real specific with a plan over a period of years, not days, not months, years, and then continuing that for the rest of your life. That's the only way you're going to be able to get your weight under control, your energy up, and enjoy the later years in life when you get into your 50s and your 60s and 70s. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. And this is a Coach Idris signing off. And like I always say, make today your best day. Be the best version of yourself, because we're not promised tomorrow. So let's make today an amazing day. You take care. Peace.